the idea of marriage now is quite different and is highly incompatible with polygamy. This is the reason. You and your woman, now people marry for love. Then they were getting married for love.
They also married for love.
Then
Yes.
there were a few of them who
About
were,
that.
most of
They
them,
will say where it works.
no most
When
of,
they look at a lineage that works,
and
they
most of the
go
men
and get
wanted
married from there.
children. They wanted their generation to remain. Though their primary assignment of getting married were mostly they needed children.
Yes, and
A
also
lot.
to have a lot of hands on
Hands
deck
on deck to.
in the farms
Farms.
and all the rest.
So because of that, they got married. Now the issue of the emotional attachment between a man and a woman now is high, and that actually leads to divorce a lot.
Now, it's not about emotional attachment. It's about expectations. Now, see.
Should we say it's expectation?
Yes, a lot of women.
No,
do you
both
know- do
men
you know-
also have
listen.
expectations.
A lot of what you call love is not about. It's not about feeling. It's about what is given and what is received.
Even
That is what most people call love.
even the male also expects something to be given
I'm
to them.
coming. Yes.
This is the Steropsis.
Is polygamy possible in the modern African society? Ned Nwoko has shown that that polygamy is, should I say, has shown, or there is that perception he's presenting that when you have money, you can actually be polygamous, and this is going to have effects in a lot of young Africans who are actually looking at it as a model.
Polygamy is not evil. It is the way of life of our ancestors. Some of them, not all of
Not
them,
all of them, yes. Not
were
all of them.
polygamists.
Yes, yes.
But it was very popular in time past than it is now. The reason why people propagate monogamy was because of the influence of Christianity. You know, because when the white men came down here, they came with their culture and religion. So a lot of our own people have chosen to go by the white man's way of life rather than that of their own forefathers.
No, and again, most times some people choose monogamy because of the problem associated with the other one. If you check most of our fathers, most of their generations were from polygamous family,
Yes.
and sometimes the experience they had first, and some of them will vow never to go.
Well, it's not about the children. Polygamy is about the man's happiness
No,
primarily.
it's
I'm
not-
coming.
but that's what I'm saying now.
Because if you check our grandfathers, they lived longer.
No, I don't think they live
No, I
longer.
am coming.
They're not living
There was
longer.
a reason they lived longer, because sometimes when you stay with one woman and then she's very toxic, all right,
They are also-
the man most times remains with that woman because he has an option to marry another. Now, all right. Now, you now see that the first wife, the head begins to calm down. All right,
Sure.
and then over time he gets another one.
That
But
is-
I'm
that
coming.
is- that is
But-
the,
but-
the,
but-
the perception most
No,
people,
but I'm
most
coming.
polygamists present.
It's
But
not
is it
perception.
is it actually
It's not
the
perception.
sense?
It's not perception of polygamists. Because if you noticed when the polygamous marriage was so much in our society, you see the divorce rate was lower. Not that people don't leave marriages, they do. But
They also
the
the
risk-
divorce also was they also high divorce during those
no,
days.
no,
so
no, 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 no.
You can say a woman who has
it
been
was-
married.
it was
Most of
far
our great
less.
grand most of our great
Mm.
grandmother had children for more than one man.
Yes, of course. That's why. That's
it was
why.
very
That's
common.
why.
And most of
That's
the men
why.
had children for more than one woman.
No, that's why I said that in those days it was relatively less. Now,
we have lesser
polygamy,
population.
polygamy in the modern angle of it, or in the modern era, is by choice. All right, it's not because in the olden days, your father or your parents could compel you to get more children, especially in a family where they had a limited number of people. So for more productivity and then
yes, they needed more people.
They needed more kids. They'll ask you to go get one. Especially if you go to the north, it's still very much prevalent. All right.
But let me sorry for cutting you short. The problem I have is how is it going to work out? Because if you notice what's going on now,
Mm.
when an average young man gets married now,
Mm.
the idea of marriage now is quite different from, and is highly incompatible with polygamy. This is the reason. You and your woman, now people marry for love. Then they were getting married for love.
They also married for love.
Then
Yes.
there were a few of them who
About
are,
that.
most of
They
them,
will say where it works.
no, most
When
of
they look at a lineage that works,
work, and
they
most of the
go
men
and get
wanted
married from there.
children. They wanted their generation to remain. Though their primary assignment of getting married were mostly they needed children,
yes, and
A
also
lot.
to have a lot of hands on
hands
deck
on deck to.
in the farms
farms.
and all the rest.
So because of that, they got married. Now the issue of the emotional attachment between a man and a woman now is high, and that actually leads to divorce a lot.
Now, it's not about emotional attachment, it's about expectations. Now, see,
Should we say it's expectation?
yes, a lot of women.
No,
do you
both
know- do you
men
know-
also have
listen.
expectations.
A lot of what you call love is not about feeling. It's about what is given and what is received.
Even
That is what most people call love.
even the male also expects something. to be given
I'm
to them.
coming. Yes, there are. That
could
is
be
why I
the
said
word of-
expectation.
Peace of mind.
Now, most like if you get a beautiful young girl now, and you take a very proper good care of her, she will fall for you, even though she might have
Reservation about her.
a crush somewhere else that she's deeply emotionally attached to. But that is not the discussion for today. Now, if you are talking about polygamy in the modern sense, I will tell you, if you're a traditionalist, it is highly okay. And if you are a Christian, it is the belief of your faith. So you should not be talking about polygamy as a Christian. But if you're a traditionalist, the traditionalist will tell you in Igbo language, and I will tell you, Nejiro funwa yazanai.
Now,
All right?
I
Now-
understand what you're saying, but you see, it's easier to look from outside and feel like it's okay. You know, you're
I am from a polygamous home too.
yes, because
So
but
I
it's
understand
not, it's not like what is going on now. You see, when somebody gets married now, you know, currently the way it's done now, it's not like the days where you have one large compound, everybody living together.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, some people living in different continents.
Yes, I
The Muslims
understand.
are having the problem now.
But can I
Some
tell you?
especially the educated ones, they don't even live in the same continent.
No,
Like this so now, I can be sure that most of these young ones. will
Okay.
be living in Abuja and all that.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Now, in the earlier days, when it is very wrong or very foolish as a man if you marry 3 wives and you are living in the same flat.
Currently, yes.
Even in the ancient time, they don't live in they don't live in the same house.
But
They
are
live in the same compound.
Yes.
And then each woman to her own. So if you must repeat what it is, then you must be well to do in the current economy now to have multiple wives. Now it is your choice, and if you want to do it, you have to do it well. Now, you will know that you have to have an obi where everybody comes to assemble, especially when you have your general meeting as one family. And then the other women and her children, you must provide separate accommodation for them to avoid problem. Now, and then I also tell you that the problem of those polygamy, or why there is division in polygamy, it is not because of the man. The causes of some of those divisions that are bound to always arise are the self-centeredness and the wickedness of the heart of some women.
No, let me tell
within
you,
the
what
polygamous setting.
let me just tell you, is unavoidable. Now, the way women are programmed is not the same thing men are programmed.
See, let me shock
what
you.
is going on now.
Well, I think when my own father died, we had little or no squabble over who gets what, because the cause of those squabbles always arises because of who gets what and how. Now,
it's not necessarily
the wise man, who I believe my own dad was, had already shared everything accordingly, even years before he died. All right. So the moment he died, one of his best friends just got the paper. They signed at the magistrate, and then they gave us. said, "Oh well, this is your." Everybody read it, and nobody complained. We just kept quiet.
That's even
All right.
that's even the current
And now,
case now.
and now,
But a lot of them will not get-
and now, I tell you, amongst my sisters or my step sisters and brothers, yes, even you who is baited by the same father and mother, you still always have crisis.
Yes.
All right. Now, if maturity will tell you that these are your own blood, all right. Now, if there is crisis that arises in the polygamous setting, the way you settle it is what brings the bond together or divides everyone all along.
People were living close, right?
We lived in the same compound.
Now, do you see the problem with the modern one? Somebody is married to like 3 wives. One lives in Enugu. Maybe the man, most times currently men don't really get married to second wife earlier.
Mhm.
Possibly you leave the first one, maybe after 10 years, and after that you start having problem. And by then you have your first 2, 3, 4, 5 children. With that first one, you have a very large compound. When you marry second one, let's stay in Abuja or Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know that the current polygamous structure, most of the sisters don't know each other. I had a case with one of my staff friends that his brother, half brother, was asking her out.
Well,
But it was actually online.
No, you don't.
And the girl actually knew.
No,
was his
you
brother.
don't. You don't blame the children. In this
They've
kind,
not seen-
in this
they've not
kind,
seen-
no,
they've not
in
seen
this
before.
kind of scenario, it is very wrong. If you want to be a polygamist, beat your chest and say, "Yes, I want to be a polygamist." Tell your wife you want to get a second wife. And then let me tell you, there are women who even enjoy that polygamous setting. At least some burden are taken away from them, apart from when selfishness or self-interest comes in.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
That
a lot of them, just tell her, even if she refuses, and then you insist on marrying them, make sure that your children always comes around. All right? Yes, of course.
With the wife?
Yes, of course.
It's not going to be
No,
easy.
what are you saying? Most
not gonna
times, no. Easy how? Most times, when you don't have general return in your
Once
place.
in a year.
Yes, of course. Knowing them even that once in a year is enough.
Do you
What
know
are you
why-
saying?
do you know
At
why-
least you know that these are your siblings.
Yes.
And now those who will wish to connect will connect. Those who wants to stay away will stay away.
And then that takes away the family bond.
That is why that is why the father.
That takes away.
Abroad
living
for
together.
children.
Let me tell you, do you know staying together in an environment, it fosters that sense of brotherhood among. That's why most times if they live together, you find out that maybe two of the brothers, one of the and mother, become very close.
Mm-hmm.
The girl and the guy become because of that closeness.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes their mothers could be quarreling. You understand? And they are close. On their own, you see that these people,
Mm-hmm.
and then that will continue that. But when you have one person, you know, one died in my area, and then the children came back. Brother, they've not seen each other before.
Now, Ojukwu per se had a lot of children
And
within marriage and outside
outside
marriage.
marriage. I see I see
But-
court.
Listen, that is because I feel Ojukwu didn't maybe did
That's
what
what
he
you're
was
saying.
supposed to do, and if he gave money, if you do certain things with your right sense of judgment, without some level of favoritism as a father, problem will not arise in your home, be it within polygamy or outside of it. All right, because the problem starts when it seems that you're giving a particular set of one of your wife or the children more attention than the rest. Now, that is where the finances, even in current setting, comes in. If you know you do not have enough money as a practicing traditionalist and you wish to be a polygamist, if you don't have enough money, please manage your one wife.
Now let me get to,
It's not a must. You must marry a
let me get
second
to-
wife.
Let me get to that place. There is nothing like favoritism. Now the problem is, you see, mostly the first ones, they always feel cheated. That was going on even Ojukwu zone. That one they say gave birth out of wedlock and all those things. Now, look at the problem. If you stayed with like your first wife for like 20 years or 30 before you came married to that one, the first one will feel like, oh, I have to get more shares. You understand? And when the man is gone, and if the man tries to give, okay, let me give this for 70%, give this for 30%, it's a problem.
No.
And most times, those first sons now, they have more power more than the other ones.
In Omenala Igbo, you are looking at it from the English law. Now, in my place now, we already know that when a man dies, that the person who inherits his compound is the son, the first son, right? And now that does not alienate him from other entitlements.
Yes.
And now, if you have 3 wives, and then you want to share those properties, that is the word my people will use. That is, you share it according to the number of wives you have. You share it equally that way, separate all of them, give everybody their due share.
Now
and then it's done.
In my own village, he shared based on the male children. And then if the man wishes to give a lot of the female,
if he does, that is if he doesn't have enough.
Even if he has enough, like what is going on now? Let me tell you, like what is going on between this man now. You know, some of his children are almost, not so much, some of them are older than most of the wives he's getting married to.
Yes, of course.
And those are the guys balling with his money.
Yes, of course.
Now, that guy does not care if he should marry 10 wives. But in the day, the man buys down, most of those guys will not have the kind of asset he has. He has access to the wealth. It looks like he's it's their father's money.
Yes, of course.
If you look at it now, all of them should have equal access.
Yes, of course.
But because of the virtue of age, you get that kind of thing. His son now is deep. Maybe now
because you are older and you've benefited enough.
Now, when he dies, somebody comes
when the father is about to share, you should know that the father always has this leaning towards their last children. You see that last child that is always closer to him. He has always a little bit of bias.
Now the problem is
now he's looking at it from this angle that the first ones have benefited enough from him, and then he doesn't know how this one will cope up. So what he does, he tries to show up a lot of things for him.
When he does it, the man dies and there's a problem. I have a very big person I wanted to call his name. Do you know what the first son said? The first son allowed the business to collapse because when he died, a lot of them were younger. And he has worked hard for the business. So now they divided everything into 6. He got very pissed off. These people don't know everything about the business and nobody will come and tell me because you're a male. You can't open your mouth and say it's my father's property. And the guy allowed everything and then took part of his own and allowed everything to just collapse like that. Why?
Well,
it's not easy. Like theoretically, but practically, he feels like he will run a business with the father. Now the father is gone. And then I had one thing, somebody told me that the last child came one day, I was telling him that I need to buy a car. And the guy said, you better go to school. You understand? He was supposed to go that time. The guy said, it's not my father's money. So what do you know about the business? That he has worked throughout. This is the only thing I've done with his life.
Every marriage on its own is challenging. And I tell you that Ned Nwoko, as the man that he is enjoying his life. And he has accumulated a lot of wealth that will be enough to go around. So if you are not buoyant enough as a man, or you don't have a means to maintain multiple wives, my brother, polygamy is not for you.